Here was President Biden last night talking about his release of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
These steps will help blunt gas prices here at home, but I know news about what's happening can seem alarming to all Americans. But I want you to know we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay.
Bring in Chris Hahn, host of the Aggressive Progressive podcast. Americans at home see gas prices continue to go up. The one thing the president does is 30 million barrels and prices go up 7% again. Do they really think we're going to be okay because he says so?
Look, America is scared right now about what's going on in the world, what's going on in the economy. I think President Biden did the best he could last night to try to address those concerns on the economy. Remember, he doesn't control a lot of the economy. Just as your guest before me just said, it's not a supply problem in the market. The market is spooked, and the market is trying to recoup profits it lost in 2020. Remember, in 2020, they would have paid you to take a barrel of oil in 2020. So the market is trying to recoup those losses. It's spooked by the situation in Russia. It's spooked that it might go wider and might disrupt other trends,
Chris,
other areas of exportation.
Why not, for just 1 minute, for the president say, look, our national security is more important than a green climate agenda. We're going to let the domestic oil production grow right now until we get through this crisis and for a period of time out. Why is he so beholden to the climate change side of the Democratic Party?
So again, you are conflating two issues. Your first guest just said there is not a supply shortage of oil on the world
we can all
market.
Agree. Okay, Chris, we can all agree. We can all agree if there was more production domestically, it would give the president a lot more leeway to put sanctions on Russia. My last guest said that as well.
Yeah, America is already a larger producer of oil than Russia is. The oil is traded on a global market. The prices are being spooked by a variety of things, not just the Keystone XL pipeline here in the United States of America.
Okay.
It is a capitalist market.
Let me put it a different way. We put up the chart, gas prices versus President Biden's approval numbers. We can all agree that inflation has not been a friend to this president. His approval numbers track very closely to the way gas prices have gone up, inversely correlated.
Yes.
If you're at the White House, at what point do you start to get really scared? Have they table gamed out $6, $7, $8, $9 a gallon gas?
Look, if we're anywhere near $6, $7, $8, $9 a gallon gas, Joe Biden and the Democratic Party will not have a very good November at all, to say the least, right? So what he has to do is try to keep it from getting to $150 a barrel, which your first guest talked about, and it looks like it's on its way to that. Who knows where it's going to end up? Who knows how this crisis ends in Ukraine? The price of oil is not Joe Biden's fault, but it is his political problem. And he does need to address it with the American people. We do have to find ways to lower the cost of oil here at home, even if it means having a holiday on gas taxes in the United States of America or some other method to try to reduce our cost of oil here at home. So that it's reducing the prices of other things. But, you know, I mean, there are very convenient talking points. This Keystone XL pipeline was actually making it easier for Canadian oil to make it to the global market. Now it only has a fewer places.
Chris, reasonable people, though, can agree, and we'll play us out by proving it. Reasonable people can agree that President Biden and the Democratic Party is tougher on domestic oil production than Republicans are. That's one of the platforms they ran on. Even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez last night was complaining that President Biden isn't tougher still on the domestic oil industry. Take a listen.
It definitely was a lost opportunity because the entire country does support. There is profound bipartisan support to a long-term shift away from fossil fuels.
You talk about problems come November. That is a TV ad waiting and ready in October with gas prices high.
Well, you do see an uptick in people buying electric cars, hybrid cars, moving away from fossil fuels in this country. And we've got to figure out a way that we can help Americans get away from the dependence on this global market, which is so erratic. And frankly, we don't have a lot of control over here in the United States of America. So, you know, what can we do as Americans to join this effort to sacrifice a little bit for the safety of our own security and the security of freedom-loving countries around the world, and maybe not relying on countries like Russia and the volatile Middle East, where they do not grant the civil rights that we enjoy here in the United States of America. Maybe we shouldn't be involved with those countries at all anymore. Maybe we should do everything we can to rid ourselves of the need for the drugs they've been selling us for the last 100 years.
Okay, you can very easily argue that in the meantime, have as much domestic oil production as you possibly can, so you have more freedom of movement with those countries. You made a prediction.
Look.
Go ahead. Last word.
I don't disagree with you. I think that we do have to find a way to up our production, and we got to do it safely and do it in the right way.
No, we'll see where we go. We're going to try to head out to some oil rigs in the coming weeks. I wanted to get you on one more thing. Last night, if we have some video of the State of the Union, there were no masks. It was incredible. It was different. The president declared victory over COVID. There may have been a discussion of that on one of your earlier hits on this program. Take a listen. What's the over-under for the Rose Garden speech where President Biden takes the mask off and says, victory is upon us, we have beaten COVID, everybody gets to get back to normal? What's the date?
May 1st.
All right. What does the fact that you were 2 months late say, and will the president get the political credit for ending the pandemic?
Well, to be fair, you didn't say if I took the over or the under. So let's just say I took the under.
All right. And we didn't define the terms either, so there you go. Every bet is won or lost on the first tee.
Exactly. You know, punditry, you're not supposed to have to answer for your mistakes like that, Leland. Come on, brother. It's called punditry. So, no, look, does he get credit? I think he gets credit for the efforts he did for the distribution of the vaccine, for getting it out there and making sure people had it readily available for it. I think that was a great effort by the president. I think this whole country deserves credit for what it did, rolling up its sleeves and getting that shot, except for the 30% who haven't. And I wish they would. And I'm not going to beg them. I'm not going to try to shame them into doing it. I just think they need to do it for their own health, for the health of their company.
You get a yes or no on this. 2 weeks from now, the mask mandate for airplanes expires. Will the Biden administration let that last visible sign of the pandemic go?
Yes, and I hope so, because I want to travel to Europe this year, and I don't want to wear a mask. So,
yeah, well, there you go. All right, Chris, it's good to see you. Thank you very much, my friend, as always.
Nice to see you, too.
All right. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.